guys, it's Sarah, and today I'm bringing to you my 2019 reading stats. I've actually never done this video before, but I've seen a lot of other people do it, and I've always really wanted to, but it's kind of like daunting to get all of your stats together. I also didn't get them together over the course of 2019. I did it all today, hence why I'm wearing this headband. I got this for New Year's and I think it's really cute, and so I just wanted to wear it because it says cheers, and I wanted to give myself a pat on the back for putting together all these stats today. It took me a long time because I read 61 books in 2019. There you go, first stat. I also want to thank the booktuber Let's Read for creating the spreadsheet that I used to put this together. He puts together this spreadsheet every single year that allows you to track your reading, and it's really detailed. I actually didn't even use all of the stats that this outputs. Before we get into all of the stats that I got from that spreadsheet, I'm going to go over some of the Goodreads stuff that I found interesting. Apparently the shortest book that I read was 128 pages, and that was Kingdom of Needle and Bone by Mira Grant. That's also the pen name of Shauna Maguire. And the longest book I read was 656 pages, and that was The Good Daughter by Karen Slaughter, which is very surprising to me because I really liked that book. It was actually on my list of favorites for the year that you'll see in that video, and it did not feel like it was that long. It felt a lot shorter than that. I really blew through that one really fast and I really enjoyed it. The most popular book that I read was The Host by Stephanie Meyer, which doesn't surprise me because Stephanie Meyer is a very popular author and that book's been out for a long time. Apparently 925,697 people have read that book. And then my least popular book was again Kingdom of Needle and Bone by Mira Grant. Only 1,420 people have read that, which also makes sense to me because it's just a novella. It's under Shauna Maguire's pen name, so makes sense. So getting into my average rating for the year, it was 3.37, which isn't abnormal because I'm a pretty critical rater and I rate a lot of books 3 stars, so it doesn't really like equal out. I had 10 5 stars, which were actually 8 5-star books plus 2 4.5-star books that I rounded up. I had 23 4-star books, which actually was very surprising for me because normally I don't rate that many books that highly. 13 3-star books, 10 2-star books, and 5 1-star books. I really wish that I had done this stats video in previous years so that I could compare these ratings to actually know if this is on par usually, because 23 4-star books actually sounds like a lot for me. 56 of the 61 books were books that were new to me, and then 5 of them were rereads. 57 of the books were fiction and 4 of them were nonfiction. I actually feel like reading 4 nonfiction books is actually kind of a lot for me. I don't normally read a lot of memoirs or personal development, so good on me for that. 60 of the 61 books I read were on audio, and 1 of them was a physical book. That's definitely something that I want to change in 2020, but it was just an audiobook year. I didn't really have a lot of free time, so most of my reading was done through audio in the car. My most read authors were Karen Marie Moning and Christina Lauren. I read 4 from each of those authors. Because I read the Fever series, I knew that I had read a lot of Karen Marie Moning books, but I didn't realize I read that many Christina Lauren books until I put them into this Excel spreadsheet. I really liked this spreadsheet because I feel like it just like unearthed a lot of things that I didn't know about myself and my reading. I mean, that's the point of these stats videos, but I feel like it's all very new to me because I've never done one for myself. As far as the demographics of these authors go, 55 of them were female, 3 of them were male, 2 of them were both male and female. I think those were the anthologies that I read, and 1 of the authors was non-binary. Getting into the types of books I read and age groups, 30 of the books that I read were adult, 24 YA, 6 new adult, and 1 middle grade. I'm not surprised that I read more adult than YA. I feel like more often than not recently I've been leaning towards either new adult or adult. So they're almost equal because it's 30 versus 24, but I really feel like in 2020 I might be reading more adult than YA again. As far as genres go, I read 12 romance, 9 thriller / mystery / suspense. I just kind of grouped those all together. 9 urban fantasy, 8 fantasy, 6 historical fiction, 5 paranormal, 4 sci-fi, 4 contemporary, 3 self-help, and 1 memoir. I feel like I read very widely this year. I'm very proud of myself. I feel like I did a good job being a very well-rounded reader. I was also very surprised to see that romance was my most read genre, although I will say if you combine fantasy and urban fantasy, I think that adds up to 17 books. So I guess fantasy is my most read genre. I just kind of split them up into 2 separate categories, but fantasy and then romance, I'm a little surprised. I don't know, I guess I thought I read more thrillers than I did. I definitely want to read more thrillers in 2020, so if you have any recommendations, let me know down below. I also probably should read more nonfiction, but It's fine. Within these books, 25 of them belong to series and 36 of them were standalones. This number also doesn't surprise me because I feel like I have been enjoying standalones more than series for a while now. It's just like a lot of energy to read series, and there's so many that I haven't finished. It's just a lot for me. The thing that I was most interested to learn is the publication dates of all of these books. I read a book for every year between 2004 to 2019. I read 20 books from 2019, 10 from 2018, and 11 from 2017. That was actually really shocking to me because I didn't realize I had read so many new releases. I feel like I don't really look at publication dates when I'm reading things. I just kind of look at whether or not people are talking about it. And when I looked at these numbers, I was shocked to know that I had read 20 books that came out in 2019. Like, I feel like that's probably the most new releases that I've read ever. Again, I've got nothing to compare it to, but off of my memory, I think that's true. Something that's also really interesting is knowing what publishers these books came from. And so what I did with these books is I looked at what imprints they were from and then looked at their parent companies. So all of this is based on like the parent companies, whether that be like Penguin Random House, Macmillan or HarperCollins, Simon & Schuster, that sort of thing. So a lot of these books are probably published under different imprints that are under that. So if it doesn't align to what you know about these books, sorry. But I read 16 books from Penguin Random House, 11 books from Simon & Schuster, 11 books from HarperCollins, 8 from Macmillan, and 6 from Hachette, and then so on and so forth as it dwindles down. I thought that was really interesting. I feel like I read mostly from the bigger publishing houses. It's also probably because they own so many imprints. Like Penguin is out there with like a shit ton of imprints, like a lot of them. I was like, where is St. Martin's Press from? Actually don't know where St. Martin's Press was. I think that was actually Hachette, but you know what I'm saying. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my stats video. This was a lot of fun to make. I really liked seeing all the results. I was really surprised by a lot of the stuff that I saw. And so I'm really looking forward to tracking my reading this year. I'm definitely going to start the spreadsheet sooner so that I don't have to spend 3 hours putting it together. And thanks again so much to Let's Read for making this. I'll link his channel and the spreadsheet down below. It's so helpful. Let me know down below what you thought of this video. I had a lot of fun, like I said. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. You're all beautiful. Have a nice day.
Send me your location, let's focus on communicating, cause I just need the time and place to come through. Send me your location, let's